Hi, I'm Kevin Vanderveer, and I'm at this incredible gallery called Bet's Fine Art Gallery. I'm showing my work, the show themed Cowboys, and it's a collection of cowboys that I've photographed through the years here in Texas. I've been shooting photography for a little over 30 years. Used to be the photo editor at Texas Highways magazine. Couldn't stand the desk job, so I got back out on the range and started shooting pictures. I love photography. It's a good friend. I think that it's an art form that is constantly changing and hard to keep up with.
Why don't we look at just a couple of pieces and maybe you could say a few words, like the one behind you right
This is actually a photo I took up in the panhandle of Texas. This is actually Strand Smith, who is a champion, calf roping champion in the on the rodeo circuit. Incredible cowboy. Sun was setting. It was a great moment. We were actually setting up to do a lit portrait while he was sitting there, and when I turned and saw him, I just started shooting away. It was just one of those moments where it just happened. And then, of course, we shot the portrait that we were looking to do, but this is definitely one of my favorite cowboy shots. It just evokes a lot of the emotions that I think cowboys feel out on the range. Yeah,
that is really amazing. And let's take a look at this piece right here.
Again, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, this is Strand Smith, champion calf roping for the rodeo circuit. They were branding cattle, and so I was able to get in there to these are little calves, and just the way Strand was able, he just threw these cows around like they were made of paper mache, and they weren't hurt. Other than, I guess, the branding does hurt a little bit. I haven't been branded, so I don't know for sure, but the smoke hints to me that it might hurt a little bit. But nevertheless, this moment is, one of the things about photography, it's capturing that decisive moment. And that's really one of the things I love most about the shot. You have his hands coming off the cow, and you've got this cow tongue out and his arms out. You can just almost hear the action, by looking at it. So one of my favorite shots for sure. I've gotten quite a few laughs out of this shot.
That is great. That's great. Well, we'll get a few of these pieces onto the webpage, and they will be for sale off the webpage also. The webpage is betsgallery.com.
Be sure to support us photographers and, of course, these great galleries.
Thank you. And who's next?
Oh, yeah. I want to segue into my good buddy. He actually was my mentor when I first got into photography professionally. Skeeter Hagler, who mentored me, won the Pulitzer Prize for his cowboy photography. And so I'm very honored to be doing a joint show with him. So here's Skeeter for his wing and mentored me as a young new photographer.
Biggest mistake of my life.
Yeah. Yeah. And then his buddy also, Jay Dickman.
Yeah.
They wisely told me, hey, look, don't get stuck getting used to a paycheck. You need to, if you like freelance photography, you need to get out. So shortly thereafter, I went out and been doing freelance ever since then. Did a little stint as photo editor at Texas Highways magazine, and that was interesting. I'll tell you what I saw there happening in photography was very eye-opening. And what I mean by that is that was right when the huge shift from film to digital was happening. Digital took down the barriers, for everyone to be able to be creative at one level or another with a camera, which is good because I think God gifted us all to be creative, and I'm glad that people can be creative. At the same time, it also kind of opened the door for a lot of mediocrity, because when things are just kind of real easy, you have a lot of automatic settings, those cameras, those programs, they can only get you close enough. And I was seeing that reflecting in the work in the magazine and in general out among photographers. And so began to really study and look at, how is photography going to last? How is photography going to, are we seeing the beginning of the end? And I'm here to tell you, no, actually what we're seeing is the next evolution in this art form and creativity in photography. One of the key things, though, about photography is that, well, let me just back up for a minute. Science now knows that the way our human brain works, this very moment, we're recording it in single photographs. The other part of your brain takes these single photographs, puts them together and stores them based on past experience and future possibility. Now what's cool about that is that we've been designed, all of us, every one of them, every human being's been designed for the single photograph. When we remember in the single photograph. And it may be a short series of a single photograph, but and those photographs actually evoke an emotion and what have you. What I'm seeing is a lot of processes that are taking mediocre photographs and making them look better. And the truth is, some of those processes are actually taking those photographs to a level that without them could not go, and they're beautiful and they're incredible. And so I see photography splitting off into two things. The manipulated photograph as an art form, which is not to be looked down upon, but watch it. It's going to blow your mind as time goes on. Especially, that's where the vast majority of photographers are going to be going, because that's really kind of the future. And then you have the photography that is part of what has made photography since photography came about in the 1800s. And that is that thing that we're designed for, the decisive moment. That when everything comes together, for there to be this moment that is that decisive moment. And so therefore, that other line is about content. And so the content still is king. You still cannot beat content. And I believe that do you disagree? Everybody, Robert Seale, who's an amazing photographer. You should see what he can do with the lights off. Yeah, that's Aaron, who's also an amazing photographer.
Back on track.
So I'll just tie this up, turn it over to Skeeter. So basically the way I see it is, you're going to see in fine art photography that is manipulated through processes that bring about these beautiful pieces of art. And then photography that is still about that decisive moment that passes the test of time, that still evokes the emotions. And I think we all know some of those photographs already. The stuff that Ansel Adams has shot, that Cartier-Bresson has shot, Stieglitz has shot, Skeeter Hagler.
Don't put me in that group.
So that's the way I see it creatively. You know. So now I'll turn it over. I'm so glad you didn't bring your walker with you.
Yeah. No, I'm not quite as heavy of a thinker as Kevin. You know, I've been a photographer.
Because I'm bored half the time.
I've been a photographer for over 40 years, and I think both of us feel real fortunate that we were able to make a career out of what we love doing, and we're both still real lucky because we really enjoy what we do. It's still fun after all these years, and we both kind of grew up in our career as photojournalists, just like you guys are, and what that means to us is we tell stories with pictures, and our whole career has been based on this going all over the world, really, and telling stories about people and places. And our job was always to be, I guess, be the viewer's eyes. We would go places for people, the viewers, and take pictures of things and try to show them what we saw and our interpretation of what we photographed. And I always kind of prided myself in being a really good storyteller with pictures.